Alright guys, welcome back to 3 Generations Restoration. Got a Allis Chalmers WD tractor here today, and we're going to try to get it running, but we ran into a problem that I didn't foresee. The engine's stuck! So we're going to have to unlock the engine. We did drag this thing probably half a mile down our driveway, and nothing. So we're going to have to pull the head off and persuade these pistons to move. So start disassembling and get this engine free. Alright, we're going to start by draining the water out of the block. I don't think there's any in here, but might as well try to get it all out while we're here. That way we don't make a mess. So we'll try that. Alright, so I gotta loosen this petcock here and see if anything comes out. Looks like there is some in here. So we'll slowly let this out. Try to save as much as we can, because this stuff ain't cheap. There it is. Looks like the block did have some coolant in it. We'll let this drain out. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull this upper radiator hose off. We should be lower than the coolant, so we shouldn't have anything in here. I'm going to probably get a pair of channel locks and loosen this, because I don't think this has been off for a while. So I'm not going to video this. I'll meet you guys back here when we get this hose off. Alright, so we got most of the coolant out now. We got about, I'd say maybe 2 gallon out. I'm sorry for the air compressor in the background. Getting a tractor painted right now. Next step is to get this manifold off. Couple bolts holding it on. I got it PB blastered. While I was doing that, like I said, got the upper radiator hose off. So now I'm hoping I'm gonna get all these off without breaking them. So wish me luck. We'll meet you here after we get it off. Alright, so we got lucky with the exhaust manifold. Everything came out. Most of the studs just came out, and this stud stayed in. So now we're gonna go ahead and pull the valve cover off. 4 bolts on the top, 9/16. We'll get that off and meet you back here again. Alright, so the valve cover's off like you just saw. The inside of the rocker shaft and all the push rods don't look bad. They don't look rusty. All the valves are not stuck, so I don't understand. Maybe this tractor's just dry stuck, but we'll get to the bottom of it here shortly. We got to get all this off though and get all the push rods out so we can get all the head bolts out. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Yeah, so that's pretty funny. Alright, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these nuts off, and I'm going to be taking this. I got this one loose. I got to get this little oil line off. Looks like it's a 1/2 inch over here, and it's kind of in a bad spot. Oh, it's 7/16 as well. Well, that's good. Doing this with the camera always sucks. Alright, there we go. So get this oil pressure line, or oil line, I think it's just a feeder line, out of the way. Put that in our bin. We'll go ahead and take this rocker shaft out. Make sure to get these washers out of here. Alright, here we go. Take these out. Make sure you hold it like so they're tight, otherwise you pull it off and they'll all fold out and come off together. There's that. We'll go ahead and take out each push rod, make sure that they're not bent, which I don't think they are. Keep them in the correct order. Alright, there's all the push rods in the correct order from rear to front of the engine. We're going to go ahead and take all the head bolts off now. Get this head off. Alright, so we got the rocker shaft off in the previous clip. We're going to take the head off now. We got these three, looks like 5/8 bolts. All the head bolts under here, there's 5 of them. And then we got 7 of them over here. And some of these are going to have to get with a wrench, which kind of sucks. But that's just the way it's got to be. So we'll go ahead and get all them off and go from there. Alright, now that we got all the head bolts off and the water jacket thing off, we're going to get the engine puller, and we're going to get it in a spot where we can pull this head off. That way we don't damage the head gasket. We're going to hopefully try to save it. It's usually not the case, but maybe we'll get lucky this time. So get the hoist. Okay, so we got the hoist hooked up. Here's the setup we got. We're going to use these. We're going to kind of get it a little bit tight, and then we're going to hit on the head, kind of get it to break loose. I am going to pull these out too real quick, but let's get some tension on it, see if we can't get it out. Finally got this head cracked off of the studs. Let's keep going up. It took a lot of persuasion to get this thing off. And there she goes. Too high, hold on. It's this corner here. I gotta go down it here. Have to hold its little level. There, now I'll go up again. Now we gotta. I'll wiggle it while you go. Up here and hold this straight. Ready? Mm-hmm. There it is. All right. Yeah. Alright, heads off. There's piston 4. all the way almost down. This one's got some rust on it. I think this one here is the worst. Should clean up though, I would think. Here's number 1. Not too bad, but we're gonna have some cleaning to do for sure before we even have to put this back together. We got to get it unstuck first, so that's gonna be what we do next. But they aren't like that John Deere B, so let's try to get it unstuck. Alright, so we got the hone. We're gonna just try to get some of this surface rust out of these 1 and 4 pistons. They're both down, so we'll get them cleaned up, and then we're gonna take a hardwood block. We're gonna hit 2 and 3 down. That way 1 and 4 come back up, so we can hone out 2 and 3. That's kind of confusing, but we'll show you when we get there. So I'm gonna hone out these ones. And another thing too is we sprayed some PB Blast or a little oil in there. You don't want to hone this dry. I said, there you go. You hone it dry, it'll cause more problems. Alright, I think that one's good. So let's go ahead and hone this old girl. Like that. Alright guys, so after beating on this thing for a little bit of time, we custom made a hardwood block that would fit right in the hole. Go ahead and turn it over. She's turning over now, so that's a good sign. So we're going to go ahead and clean up the piston walls and clean the top of the cylinder head off, or the block off. Like I said, clean the top of the pistons. We'll clean off the head, and we're gonna have to order a new gasket set. The old gasket, we were gonna try to save it. It just couldn't be saved. We tried our best, but we did end up having to try to pry it off. But nonetheless, I'm happy. This engine is free now. The oil seems to be pretty good down in the crankcase, so I don't think I need to investigate any further. Just got to get it running and see how it works, and that's what we're going to have to end up doing. So we got the Allis Chalmers WD to a good stopping point, I think, for the first episode. I honestly we bought this thing thinking that it was free. We got it in the shop and we were going to get it running, and it was locked up, which we were kind of bummed about. But a couple hours later, we got her free, so that's the first step. I think in the next video what we'll do is we'll get everything clean, and we'll get the gaskets on and time everything, and we're going to get it running. So you stay tuned for the next episode. But I think we'll call this an episode of the Allis Chalmers WD series. So if you like this video, please subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Catch me on the next episode.